Hello everybody. It's time to continue with another session of world building. All right, we are live. Good morning, good morning. All right.
Looking great. How do you keep everything organized folder structure-wise? For example, are all the bushes in the bushes folder, or how is it done? Smiley face.
Hey, what's up? How are you guys? I'm using a lot of asset packs. They all come with their own folder structure. So I have filters. For example, if I'm looking for bushes, I type in, for example, grass or bush or a fern, and then I hit the static mesh filter, and then I hit the folder that I know I have some specific things on. For example, pollinature or let's say I hit like a specific folder and a specific filter, and then I search for the word and I get what I need. Sometimes I don't remember the name correctly, so I do need to look through different meshes, but definitely the filters help me a lot. For example, here I can choose between static meshes and foliage meshes and stuff like that, like materials, textures. Is super nice. Sometimes I do need to create my own folders. For example, the candles, I created my own folder. If you guys are looking at the vertical stream, there's also a horizontal stream in my channel, so you will be able to see all the menus and everything. It's just that on the vertical stream I only do in the viewport. So if you're interested in the other part of the stream, you can go into the horizontal one.
See the screen with settings.
You go to my channel, my YouTube channel, and you should be able to see two streams. One says vertical, and the other says doesn't says anything. It's just the horizontal one. So if you click on the other one, you should be able to see it. They give you a preview, I think, of the images. They give you a preview of what the stream is, and usually you will be able to see the horizontal one. I need another.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I need another another ground texture for this.
I see, thanks. Do you also organize the outlier, or do you hang everything to the level as it is?
The outliner, I do organize it a little bit by naming stuff like swamp. I have some stuff that is called swamp. And then I organize it by naming a little bit. I have other stuff that is called jungle. So we have some stuff that belongs to the jungle, other to the swamp. And I do have some folders here. But not much. It's not that well organized. I just have a couple of folders. I need to get the naming convention a little bit better. That'll be nicer. I want to paint some different texture on this landscape. So I'm going.
Thanks. Slightly smiling face.
So I'm going to go to all my PCG graphs, which are the procedural generated content, and I'm gonna break these connections so I'm able to work on the landscape, because this is sampling all the points in the landscape, so I don't want that while I work on the landscape. It becomes very buggy. So I'm just gonna go here, and then I'm going to go to landscape, paint, and I'm gonna choose my sometimes it doesn't understand what landscape I want to work on, so I just need to click on the landscape first and then go to landscape. And then I can choose this texture, which is like a little rocky texture, and I want to see if I can actually paint with this. The scaling, I really like this layering. It's kind of cool. Gives me some grass before the rock. The problem with these rocks is that they're a little bit too big, I think. Yeah, I'm not really sure if trees will like to grow on that texture. I mean on that rock. But it will be nice for the riverbed for sure. This is a great texture to actually add on the riverbed. I think it will look very nice. Let's go a little bit bigger with size. That will look nice here. And then I can modify a little bit these rocks as well to make them the same color. Really trying to advance. Yesterday I was working on the swamp environment. Today I'm gonna work on this area a little bit, and I really wanna start merging like the areas together. Not merging, but like trying to um, have like these little gaps
Can you
between.
explain about the scene you are working on and the end result which you expecting?
Yeah, I'm expecting like some kind of interesting environment with a bunch of biomes and transitions between them. um, the end result should be something like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is probably my biggest reference, just because they have very nice biomes, and I want to achieve something interesting where the player walks a little bit and then everything changes. Like I want a lot of transitions in the scene. I don't want to make it feel like this is a floating rock. uh, I don't want to make it feel like boring for the player, right? So I want the player to walk a little bit and then everything changes. Walk a little bit and everything changes, but slightly, right? Like with a transition, like usually how forests look like. They look like, right? Like you walk a little bit and then things start changing and stuff. Well, sometimes sometimes in some forests you can walk for a long time and nothing changes and you get kind of lost. But I'm trying to make something interesting like that. I realized this in World of Warcraft. Like it really, they change the environment a lot, like the lighting and the props and a lot of little things keep on changing. I have a post-process water volume, water material that I want to add underneath under the water, so you will be able to go underwater and stuff. I want to make like underwater caves and stuff like that. That'll be super cool. Right now I'm just adding a little bit of this, so it looks kind of interesting from like that. And then all these rocks, I want to modify them actually. I want to modify these rocks. Because they don't really work well with the color, so I'm gonna make them have this other material to make them brighter a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go select, and I'm going to select. I think they don't like this material because it's an atlas. It's just a bunch of colors in a trim sheet. So to do that, to achieve this thing, I'll need to create my own material, which I have one of those here. I'm going to add one of those. Maybe this one works kinda nice. I can make a variation so the moss is a little bit stronger, but I think that works very nice for now. This is a layering layer blend material, so I'm blending between two colors, and whatever is on top will receive the moss, and then it's super nice because you can rotate the prop or scale it and move it around, and it really keeps the moss on top. It works best for objects that have a lot of geometry. This is a little bit low poly, but still you get a little bit of the idea. Yeah, these dark rocks I'm gonna replace with these lighter ones. And then
Hola amigo.
Hola, how are you, Slash? And I'm going to get this going. Yeah, it looks much nicer, much integrated into the scene. Actually, we can try this one here. What I like a little bit, these wider ones are very nice.
What goes best for the stillest environment creation? Mostly in early stages we tend to go give shaders and less amount of textures, so are you using trimmed sheets?
Yeah, some asset packs come with their own trim sheet, which is just a bunch of square.
Hello.
Hey, Head, how are you?
OMG, it looks so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, some textures, some assets come with trim sheets, which are just basically a square with colors. Let me show you. Do I have it around here? You see, this is a trim sheet. It's a bunch of little images and colors that I'm sampling through different objects. This was not made by me, was made by the asset developers, and many of these asset packs work like that. They reference a bunch of other the same kind of image, so it's kind of nice on performance. But it also makes it a little bit harder to change the color of props, so you need to play a little bit with the materials. You need to kind of make like a copy of the material and then add some nodes to actually change the colors. But overall, trim sheets are very, very good for games. We are just saving a lot of space in texture. Nice. Okay, we got some gap in there. What is that? Yeah, sometimes you can get away with a lot of you can get away with many different ways. You can scale props up, you can like really place them in different ways. Since they're stylized, I can scale them a little bit. It's like very nice not to have like a very detailed texture. That way nobody knows exactly what's the shape of this object, because some textures, if you stretch them, they look very bad. Most textures you don't want to stretch. Okay, that's kind of cool. I kind of want to close this up. I want to close this gap, because another thing I do to find assets easily in the outliner in the content browser is go Control B, Control Browse, and it shows me all the family of this rock, so I can easily search for other rocks that are similar to this, and I can keep on adding them. For example, now I want to build like some kind of like fence, not fence, but like some kind of like division from this area to the other one. So I would like to push it like that. Maybe we can give this area a little bigger space. Yeah, that's very nice. And usually, like, if I don't remember the name or something, I go back to the viewport and find the thing, because I know I used it somewhere. and then I just basically browse it. Super cool, like, and I can, you see, I can like really stretch this out, not so much, but like I can play a little bit with the height. I would like to separate things a
Be like your best friend, no after control.
yeah. Yeah, that control browse thing in Unreal is so nice, like super nice. What else? We have these other ones which are very nice. Okay. And sometimes I go to landscape and I select not landscape but foliage, and I select all the foliage, click on check, and then I go erase, and then I erase the ones that I don't need, like this one, and then I go back to selection, and here you see, like, it doesn't really matter how big or small this prop is, since it has no actual texture, image texture, it's just color. It really, you can have so much freedom with these props. It's so nice compared to like a Megascan that has a scale. So if you make it too big, it looks weird. You make it too small, it looks weird. You need to keep them like the real size, right? There's a lot of restrictions with like realistic props. That's the good thing about stylized things. Can get away with a lot. Okay, now we need some middle rocks in the gap, so always like primary detail, secondary detail, and tertiary, so they blend in better into the environment. And then we will scatter little rocks on the floor. That will make it look super nice. And then we can grow more trees on top of these, and even give them like a little bit of stuff like on top. To make this even different from the other ones. A little bit like that. That will be nice. Okay, let's check. Something like that. It's funny, this music is Eminem but like medieval version. It seems that it has no... It seems that there's no copyright on this, so very good. Goes well with this environment. And then I will add some trees on top, and it will look very, very nice. Okay, now it's starting to look like some like solid mountain. Okay. So, oops. Once we have something interesting, we can start copying this and placing it around. The question is, what the entrance will be. I kind of want to like come here, and I don't want to see this pink tree from the swamp environment. So I need to block that out. We can actually do it with these kind of rocks as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut out some trees and then block out the vision, because I don't want this pink tree to be visible from the swamp area. So I'm going to go into foliage and erase, brush size, make it bigger, and then just get rid of those trees right here. Right there. That's awesome. Okay. Now that we have that, I'm gonna like cheat a little bit and just select the whole thing. Deselect with control the landscape and the foliage actors. Now the water, and now I should be able to only move this. Awesome. Now I'm gonna go Control D to duplicate, and I'm going to move this around. Then I'm gonna paste it just like that, and then I will modify this to make it look nice. This is like what they call an assembly. I don't know how to pronounce that right. It's just a bunch of assets together, so you can like really build worlds super easily if you make your own little groups of props. Obviously you need to go back and modify them, because you don't want them to be very repetitive. You can really tell the repetition on them, so it's not the idea. But here I do need to make this super big, so I'm just gonna duplicate them and actually try to scale them up as big as I can without going too crazy, because I do need to. This looks kind of cool actually. Really is changing the whole game here. Kind of like this. Yeah. Reminds me of some kind of like, I don't know, like some very. There you go. That looks kind of nice. You can really play with shapes when you have a bunch of assets like this. Since it's low poly, Unreal can handle this no problem. We can even try adding nanite to the whole thing. The problem with nanite is that nanite likes to work on very dense meshes, and these are very low poly meshes. Sometimes nanite doesn't like to work with low poly meshes, meaning that the geometry gets breaks the shape of the objects. So for example, you have like missing faces or holes in your geometry, and it's very weird. Like, I think they're getting better at working with low poly. Nanite, it doesn't really do much until you have a lot of geometry. Like I need to test it out, but I had this experience before where, especially with curves, especially with curvy props, I used to get a lot of artifacts with nanite, and it was very weird. I was like, no, some props don't like a nanite, others do. So hopefully it will work with this, because that will be so nice. Okay, this looks kind of interesting. Let me go inside and see if there's anything there. I think we got some little thing right here that is not actually doing anything. It's always nice to go through the models and see if there's something floating or something not actually being visible, so we can push it out and take advantage of that geometry. I think we got most of it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we can get rid of the other little things here. I still need a more this tree is too high up. We need to actually make this even bigger, because if not, we will still be able to look at that tree, and it really doesn't work well, because the idea of exploration is not to be able to see everything at the same time, so you wonder what's behind that rock or what's behind that mountain. So I don't really want to show that that tree on the other side, like, hey, this is the way you need to go. Before I continue, let me just go foliage and delete some little trees here. I want to cut. Okay, it doesn't let me because I'm on static mesh. Let me just work on landscape. There you go. These foliage tools are so good, like, wow. There you go, get this little one out. This pine tree growing on the rock makes sense, okay, no problem. Nice. Okay. And now I want to make this one smaller, rotate for variation, and here I want to add more little ones, and then maybe another one right there. These two are the same, I don't really like that. Let's change it up. Those are nice. Flat surface right there. Cool. Kinda interesting. This sharp little face right here, we're gonna blend in a little bit. Now I need to think about what foliage I'm going to use on these little rocks. That will be super nice. Also, I would like to add little things like that to give them a little bit more variation. Okay, that's kind of cool. We have this other forest here. I think I can just get rid of those pine trees and just make the whole thing pink. Don't really need this forest here. Actually, yeah, we need to activate PCG to see all the other biomes together. That would be nice, actually. this post-process volume is a little bit too dark. Let me get that. This post-process volume, I don't want to affect this little area. I'm gonna move it a little bit further away, rotate it a tiny bit, something like that. So it only affects when you actually get into the swamp. Alright, this is very interesting. I like this formation. Really breaks down the whole kind of terrain, this kind of mountains that doesn't really resemble mountain. Okay, here I'm going to actually go back to the thing and let me see. I'm blocking out the vision about a little bit. Cool. Don't know if I should probably make it taller or just grow some trees on it. Here's where I need to pick my vegetation with I need to be careful about picking my vegetation so it looks very nice. Alright, so we do need to actually block the tree from this side. Landscape, foliage tools, erase those things right here. Okay. That's a good thing about foliage tools. You can, foliage, you can just paint it, do like delete it or move it or whatever. It's so nice. To art direct, you can just simply push it around. And I even there's a little tree that I actually got copied on top of a little thing. On top of the rock. That's very nice because you can actually put foliage like trees on top of one static mesh and then duplicate that static mesh and it will bring over the vegetation you have. So if you have a lot of like intricate little vegetation on top of one static mesh, you can like actually copy that around. Let's push this a little bit into there, and I kind of wanna actually here I think I'm going to try to do it a little bit more by hand because we don't want we want something different as much as possible. It's always nice to just rotate a little bit the prop, scale it up, and actually here I want to get something different. That closes this gap. Sweet. here I want to also get. I keep using the same one. That's funny. It comes this point where like you are just getting the same assets over and over, so you need to like really try to add some variation. Okay, that's kind of cool. I need this to look on these telephone cables. I need to get rid of those and actually get some nice stuff happening here. Post process. Yeah, don't really want to mess with the post process right now. It's since I have so many post process volumes and okay, let's recalculate the PCG to populate this swamp again with swamp trees and so on. Nice. Now we have a bunch of trees again. And here I can still see the little the little tree far away. It's okay, I guess, because from the player perspective. All right. Getting some lag. Let's see. Oof. What's going on? Okay, yeah, that PCG took a little bit to load. Nice. Let's play from here and see what happens. Oh, nice. Oof, I totally forgot. I need to take this. This call. I'll be right back, guys. Let me see. ¿Qué me dice, bro? Pura vida más. Sorry que le respondo hasta ahorita. Voy a llamar a mi mamá, ella me dijo que le pasara el número de ella, entonces básicamente agarre el Uber con efectivo, y cuando se llegue ahí el chante nosotros lo pagamos y ya llamo a mi mamá para que esté lista para recibirlo y todo. También más sobre que está ahorita estoy estudiando durísimo, miras que ahora me está yendo almost there. Just need to make a little phone call. Привіт, ма, як справи? Все добре, мама. Hablé con Michael, le dije que yo le pasé su número, para que él la llamara.
NFPS counter, please.
Eh, sí, para que él la llamara y así, entonces, ¿qué le iba a decir? Él ya no tiene que ir llegando, ¿vale? Porque no viene para que esté lista, ¿vale? Entonces, yo dije que fuera sin trabajo y que está el Uber. Es un número como de hoy. No, como ahorita ya. ¿No está en la casa ahorita? Ay, pero usted me dijo que hoy en la mañana, ¿no? Bien, ¿no? Bueno, está bien, le voy a decir. No, no. Se me dio pura vida, todo bien, bien sorry, sí, yo también estoy enredado, mi mamá, tengo que salir a hacer unas vueltas al hospital, recibir unas pastillas, no sé qué tramos, entonces, le podemos dejar para hoy en la tarde, o mañana tempranito, así tempranito, como dice usted, para que salir de la vara bien temprano y ya está libre el resto del día. Más bien, demasiadas gracias, mi bro, y ¿cómo se llama? Más bien nada más de ponerse de acuerdo con mi mamá, y ella me dijo hoy en la tarde o mañana temprano, entonces yo creo que mañana temprano que era mañana. Y qué buena nota, saqué ese pasaporte español, cerda, qué buena nota tener pasaporte español, man. Hey guys, I'm back, I'm sorry. Slash, I don't really know why you want the frames per second. This is not representative of what the game is going to run at. I think we talked about this yesterday. Like, this is not the character, this is not actually a full screen viewport, right? So the frame rates are totally non-representative of what the game is going to be, right? There's no actual reason to have them on screen. I tried explaining this yesterday. Like, it really doesn't show anything. It really doesn't matter what numbers we get on screen, because this is going to run at full screen. It's gonna have a different character, a bunch of game mechanics. So there's no actual need for frame rates now, since this is not representative of the end product. It's just going to put noise on the viewport, and I use these recordings to do time lapses. So I will have numbers on the screen that actually don't do anything and just make the viewport look a little bit more ugly. And we check the frames per second, like it's running about 50 frames per second, if that's what you want to know, but there's no need to have them there on screen all the time. Once we get all the mechanics and the proper character with everything here, then we can actually start checking frames per second to actually see. but now it's not. We are not doing optimization, so there's no need at all. Like, there's no reason at all to have that on screen. Alright, now it's getting a little bit nicer. Now I cannot see the pink forest from here. I really like this. The only... Yeah, I'm really trying to keep the viewport as clean as possible. That's the main goal. Now it's getting interesting. We have very big mountains here, and I cannot see the pink forest. When it comes to the trees, I need to work on the foliage a lot because we have floating trees everywhere. Since you have... Every time you have like big slopes, that's usually going to happen. This is PCG, okay, So yeah, this PCG graph, I need to make another spline to cut this off. Or maybe, yeah, let me think about this. Looks more interesting from this side. Okay, we have a lot of little trees that are part of PCG that we do need to cut off. And now we can actually grow a little bit of trees around this area with the foliage tools. And start placing them here. I just need to get them to the right size, which is going to be... Oh, you can make them, you can push them down with the C offset. That's great. And we can actually go -10 to -5. I guess that'll push them into the ground a little bit. And here where's the scale? Where's the scale of these? Oh, there's multiple values for scale. Okay, let's go. Let's make them 4 to 6, so we have bigger trees. Okay, just a little bit like that. We're gonna have a bunch of twisted trees because of the terrain. We can adjust that later. And here I'm wondering, like, static mesh on the foliage tools, what will happen if we get some trees on top of these rocks? The color of these rocks doesn't really work. So I'm going to change that color. That'll be very nice to change the color of the just checking if this makes sense to have some trees growing in here. I'm gonna change the color of these rocks and make them this color. Right here, I have this. This color. That resembles more of the swamp color. These swamp rocks, maybe I can add them around here. Just on the border ones, then the other ones can be white, no problem. Just to break that.
Are you using Lumen for this one?
Yeah, we are using. I'm using Lumen. We have a skybox, and I got Lumen as well. But it's gonna be baked lighting. Don't really wanna play with Lumen when it comes to actually how do you say it? When it comes to releasing the game, because it's very heavy on performance. I wanna use baked lighting. I can feel the heat from the computer right now. Yeah, Lumen is beautiful, but takes performance. A lot of performance. So I'm going to bake a morning cycle. I mean, morning light, sunrise, midday, afternoon, and night. 4 different lightings, lighting scenarios, and then we're gonna basically make a transition between those baked light cycles, like many other games do. So you get the idea of like the sense of the sun kind of moving, but it's actually baked lighting. It's like a faking the cycles of the day a little bit, and you can save a lot of performance with that. Since it's a very big environment, I don't think this is a good idea to use Lumen. For now, it doesn't really matter, but when we have once we have all the game mechanics and all the things and the characters and PCs, all the things together, we need to save everywhere we can. And bake lighting, it's very nice. You can achieve like very beautiful results with bake lighting. Even nicer results than with Lumen, I will say, because it's actually a rendered kind of lighting, closer to what offline render engines achieve. So that's very cool. I like this transition between black rocks and white rocks, going into the swamp environment. Really, really like that.
Do you think UE5 run the same as UE4 without Lumen? I'm still using UE4 right now.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, on Unreal Engine 5, the big changes are Lumen and Nanite. Maybe there's some other performance things they changed. Alright, sorry guys, I was just responding some text messages. I have a friend who's coming to my parents' house to pick up some stuff, and we are arranging the thing. It was going to happen today, but my mom is busy, so she told me that if I can move it to tomorrow, and then I was trying to let my friend know. Alright. Yeah, Unreal Engine 5 and 4, I think that's the main biggest difference. But at the same time, like if you are already have like a very advanced project in Unreal Engine 4 that you are planning on releasing and packaging, there's no actually need to move it to Unreal 5. Like just finish it in Unreal 4, as long as you don't want to use those new features like Lumen or Nanite. It doesn't really make sense for you to move this to the other version, because it takes some time and might break some things. Most things are the same. This is very, very cool. I finally getting that that transition between zones that I want. That transition between little areas right here. I kinda wanna add more mushrooms, just a little bit of them to fade them out. So less and less until they disappear. So you start getting into the swamp environment and you start looking at little mushrooms popping out, and then poof, everything is full of mushrooms. Like a nice smooth transition between things. Alright, this little area is getting nicer. I still think that here I might need to have nice grass just moving.
Have you seen Unity 6?
Yeah.
Changes are coming.
Yeah. Not, I mean, you know. Yeah, the new demo, I was very impressed with the terrain, how it breaks down and everything, but you know, I'm not such a big fan of Unity, to be sincere. I'm not such a big fan. It's a little messy, you know. So many versions and lack of tutorials, and I mean, it's not so friendly for, like, you know, as an artist. Like I can do blueprints, in Unreal Engine, and I can get away with so much stuff, and there are so many presets, and it's easier, you know. It's like they're really trying to empower artists in Unreal Engine. I don't feel the same way in Unity. Unity is everything like, you know, I did a Unity art test for a studio, and it was painful, seriously painful to get anything to work. Get a good tutorial on something. I was looking at tutorials to just realize that that was not the version of Unity I needed to be working on. I was like, why? Why do you have like 10,000 versions of Unity? Like, come on, like, can't you just have one version like Unreal Engine does? I mean, Unreal Engine has different versions, right? But it shows you like in big letters what version are you using. Simple. It's very hard to get that wrong, you know. In Unity you have this bunch of versions that seem the same version, but they have a little letter at the end that is different. What? Like, why? That's the big question. Like, you know, it's just not so friendly, you know. For very simple things that you can do with a couple of clicks in Unreal, you need to like code stuff in Unity. It's like, I mean, like, not a big fan of that. Not really a big fan of Unity. I'm happy that they're making it free again. They took the installation fee away, which was just ridiculous, you know. Seriously, like. But yeah, Unity, I mean, I've seen some great games that came out from Unity, so...
Yeah, I agree. I prefer Unity. Unity also has different render pipeline, which was a bit confusing for me.
It's just a mess, I'm not gonna lie. It's a big mess. I was trying to use the cinema camera, the cinema machine, and it was a headache. A serious headache. Just to find a tutorial that worked for me. I was like, what? And those are the things that I don't want to deal with, you know, because in Unreal Engine you can you get documentation, you get everything you need. It's so nice. Yeah, that's the thing. And also I'm more used to Unreal since I've been using it for years now. It's going from this beautiful UI and these beautiful like systems and stuff, going to Unity is like, ugh, it really doesn't feel right. It feels like a step backwards. I mean, I'm sorry if there are like Unity developers in here, but like it really feels like going backwards, not forward, and I don't really appreciate that. For some reason, there is a big group of people who still like Unity. For some reason, they prefer Unity over Unreal, and that's great. But yeah, just really doesn't feel like updated. That's the real thing. And if you think about it, like, you know, who's paying developers more, right? Who makes more money, Epic Games or the Unity company, right? Like, who makes more money? Obviously Epic Games makes much more money by selling Fortnite skins, and that money goes into developing, and that's how you get a very powerful program. I mean, there's no discussion about this. Like, the amount of money that Epic Games puts into the developing of Unreal Engine, it's just insane. That's why it's a very powerful software. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it that way, there's no other program that it's more developed than Unreal Engine. That's that's how I see it. I like these rocks in the floor. We can actually get more of those and get some grass. It's time to grow some grass, I think. Yeah, I've seen some very cool stuff with Godot. I don't know how people pronounce it, but yeah, that's super cool because it's open software. So again, that's a plus. That's a super plus. Like you can get the source code, you can do whatever you want with it. It's like Blender kind of thing. That's something that I respect a lot, you know. And I've seen some very cool stuff from that render. I mean that game engine. That's the thing. And at the end of the day, I'm an artist, right? Like I want things to be easy. I don't want to lose time on technical aspects. I just want to make something beautiful that works, right? I really don't want to like break my head against the wall trying to figure out things. Kind of want to make things to work. I want to use tools that work for me and actually get me through the process. So yeah. That's my view on things. Plus, I really like blueprints. Blueprints, for somebody who doesn't code like me, I think it's super powerful. You can get away with a lot of things. But yeah, hopefully Unity gets gets better and better, and let's see. Hopefully we get to see some very nice things from Unity in the future. Alright, this is kinda cool. I can cut out more of this forest and then just keep on making this wall to enclose this area a little bit. That'll be super nice. I think that's gonna be very, very cool. Foliage. And I'm going just to cut. I'm going to cut this out here. Erase. I'm just gonna cut a little bit of this. You see the foliage tools, how they work in Unreal. Beautiful.
What kind of environment do you like making the most? I really enjoy making moody and dark sci-fi like Alien, Cyberpunk, Blade Runner and stuff.
I really like doing any kind of environment. I don't really have a favorite one. I haven't done stylized environments, so making this it's been very fun. Like I'm actually enjoying like working on stylized environments. I really having fun with this because it's more free. You can squish props around. You can really do a lot of things with this. You're not like so. How do you say it? It's not that you don't have that many restrictions, let's say, on let me think. Let's see if I can grab some of these things. So yeah, stylized environments, I really like them. I want to go back to my American retro diner after this project. I want to go back to that. so I'm able to actually finish that and put it on the marketplace, and that'll be super cool. I want to see what other people can do with that environment. I would like to see some horror games made out of that retro diner or so on. That'll be super cool. But yeah, when it comes to, I don't know, like, I really like, I'm actually liking a lot working on this stylized low poly stuff. It really feels like building a Lego kind of thing. It I messed up here. It really feels like building a Lego, cause there's no right or wrong. Like, I mean, there is, right? Like, but you can really get away with so much in here. There's no like a straight good or bad line. It's not black and gray. It's not black and white. Like, for example, if you're doing like a realistic forest, like, you know how a forest looks like, right? So you have like very strict guidelines on what works and what doesn't. But with fantasy and stylized environments, like, you can really go crazy.
I really like Genshin anime style, but it's so hard and technical behind the scene.
Oh yeah, that'll be super cool to try one day. Yeah, sometimes it gets down to like shaders and materials, and like things get complicated a lot when it comes to like stylized shaders and materials. For example, that water shader and stuff like that, it really gets complex. I'm just using assets, downloaded assets right now, so I'm just really focusing on world building, not much on the technical aspects. I've done some blueprints for vines, and I've done some stuff for like spline blueprints, like very kind of simple things to help me place the assets a little bit. Being more focused on using PCG and stuff to actually populate the world a little bit, which is kind of nice, but not so nice at the same time. PCG can really take a lot of time to get right. Sometimes I would rather say than just using foliage tools. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit quicker, and you get to art direct it a little bit faster than using PCG. I might argue that I will be able to create this same environment only with foliage tools, and it might be even faster than going with PCG. PCG is kind of cool because it just gives you like this bunch of scatter props around, and then you can cut some places out and start adding some foliage and static meshes, and it gives you like a first pass kind of thing on the environment. But at the same time, it's like it's not really thoughtful. It feels procedural and repetitive and boring, so then you need to step in and actually make it interesting. So might as well just make it interesting from the beginning and hand place things. There's nothing like hand placement. You can really give it that artistic feel if you hand place stuff. That's my thought about it on that. Yeah, I mean, my client really wanted me to use PCG, and I tried it. It kind of works and stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I still need to go there and refine things, and I still need to go there and like add some interesting things by hand, because if not, it's just gonna look like, you know, these procedural games that really just look very boring. I'm really trying to learn as much as I can from the World of Warcraft environments. It's that sense of it's ever changing, you know, like you walk a little bit and it changes, you walk a little bit and it changes. It's never repetitive. Obviously you do have some repetition, but it's very smartly, they deal with that in a very smart way, like how they place their assets and stuff, the composition, the color, the post-process volumes. It really, really, really makes it interesting. Just to walk around. So that's the goal right here, just to really make a lot of variation between little zones and biomes. That's the idea. Okay, let's see. What if I place this here? That'll be super cool, like if I add a bunch of pink trees in here. I like these rocks a lot. Okay, we need more of them back here to hold the mountain. This one, it's a little bit out of place. I like that better. And then we can add little ones on the floor. Push them down so we don't have floating ones. This little rock right here is not doing anything. These little pebbles, we can paint them eventually. Don't need to think about that little detail right now, actually. Yep. Hey, how are you? Very good, very good. We can push some of these a little bit farther away into the mountain. And this one as well. Just to take more of that shape of the thing right here. We have some floating stuff. Wow, this green looks radioactive with this yellow lighting.
How's the work going until now?
Very good. I got a bunch of progress on the swamp area. I'm finally making a transition. This is probably the first transition I'm making on this environment. Very happy about this. We have the swamp area that connects to this pink forest area, so I'm gonna make that transition. But also, I need to think about the river. This river comes up from the mountains. I need to make the river go down from the green mountains and then end up here. And this river, I wanted to go through this forest and then go out into the ocean right here. We need the river to actually go out into the ocean like it is doing here. Like here we have another escape, let's say another this connection between the water doesn't, we are using two water shaders here, so we need to add some rocks to blend that in. So we have some water going out, more little waterfalls here, and here we have like a burnt forest. Well, this is supposed to trying to make a burnt forest here in the future, and here I'm going to have all this water going down to the ocean. So
We got a couple of viewers as usual today feeling great or moving.
yeah, I'm getting more views. It's very interesting. Actually, it's kind of nice. I just need to stick to my schedule. Today I woke up super early because I was supposed to have a video call with this girl who's trying to make an NFT from an ArtStation ArtStation image that I made, and I'm very skeptical about these people. Very skeptical. But might as well give them a chance. You never know. You don't want to be like a dick and be like, oh no, you're a scammer. No, let's give them a chance. And I was like, if you are able to join into a video call and explain me what are you going to do with this and how I'm going to get paid, yeah, let's do it. If you don't have time for that, I don't have time for you. As simple as that. Because I do get an email every single week. Oh, your art station is so beautiful. Would you like to make your art into NFTs? And I'm like, Jesus. Kind of tired of that. And these people, like, they should probably put some more effort into those messages. They should probably use ChatGPT or something, because it's the same message, just copy pasted everywhere. And it's like, oh, that's kind of annoying. But this girl that talked to me a couple of weeks ago, it seems a little different. She had a profile picture and I looked her up and she seems like a real person, and so it's interesting. I want to see what she has to say. But I'm definitely not a big fan of NFTs. Not a big fan of that nonsense. Cryptocurrency and all of that stuff, I'm not a big fan. I don't like gambling. I like old school things like PayPal. And that's it. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. But nonetheless, I need to just be professional and give people a chance. You never know if actually she means business or not. Anyways, at the end of the day, she can always go to my ArtStation and just steal my images.
Make animations. Personally for me. That's for my next business startup project.
I'm not an animator. I studied 3D animation, so I know how to animate in Maya. I went to university for that. I'm a 3D generalist, so I do know how to animate stuff, but I haven't specialized in that. I'm going to build some assets. What is this? I'm going to build some assets for this project once we have the whole thing to a specific detail. I'm going to have this. Since once we have something like more finished, I'm gonna start building my own, let's say, like original assets for this game. I need to talk to my client to see exactly how are we going to work with this, because obviously the idea is to put these assets in a marketplace, because if he wants me to make original assets only for this game, it's gonna cost differently. Like I won't be able to do it for what I'm getting paid right now. I will need to negotiate a different rate per hour, or we need to think about it, because I'm not a big fan of let's say making assets that Jesus Christ. Something fell down. We got ghosts in this house. Yesterday, well, not yesterday, like a couple of days ago, like a broom fell down, and I was like, what? But I'm just joking. It was a little. I just have a bunch of recyclable, like how do they call that? A bunch of empty jars and stuff that I'm trying to recycle. So I had something way on top, and then it fell down. But it got me scared. I was like, what? Because I don't usually have anything falling down in here. Yeah, right now I'm very busy with this project, and I'm trying to see what happens with my full-time job. If everything goes well, I should get an email today telling me what's the next step in the process. I should be able to get a third interview on this week and see if I'm actually going to move back to Heredia, which is like 2 hours away from where I live now. And this job should be able to last at least 3 months. The contract should be able to last about 3 months, so I really want that work experience. And after that, I should be able to be back on this project. Like, this is gonna take a while. I'm not really sure how quick I will be able to achieve this environment. At least I'm expecting 160 hours to have like a basic.
Are you able to say which studio you're interviewing with?
No, definitely not. It's a Costa Rican agency based in Canada. I'm not able to say anything about it. If I do get the job, I can definitely let you know where I'm working, but for now it's not a good idea to talk about those topics. Yeah, and the other job I was applying to, the Unity art test I made, they got back to me maybe two weeks ago, and they told me that they were actually looking for a senior artist, and I was like, well, cool. I'm like, in one hand, I'm super happy that I don't need to work with Unity, and in the other hand, I'm like, well, I should have basically, I don't know if they had that in the work description or what, but they took a long time to answer, which is not so nice. Nonetheless, that art test got me this freelance job, so good. And I'm actually winning more with this because I'm actually able to work on my YouTube channel. You see, like, everything I want to do in the future, it needs to be towards my own brand.
May I ask, why do you not use PCG for the world building?
Yeah, we are using PCG. We do use PCG. All of this forest right here is PCG. Let me show you. PCG. Let's turn off the swamp. There you go. That's PCG. Right here. All of that, all of those trees are PCG. And let's check this other forest. This orange forest is PCG as well. Orange forest gone, right there. Back up, boom. And we got PCG for the jungle as well. So we go into the jungle and we turn the PCG jungle off like this. And we make it back up. PCG is very cool, but it's not so cool at the same time. It's very boring and repetitive, and it takes a lot of time to get it right. If you combine PCG with foliage painting and hand placement, then you can get something cool. This other one is PCG as well.
That Unity art test seems like they just took your work and used it for something else.
No, they just asked for a video. There's no way they can use that for anything, and I made it with free assets, so it was just a good experience for me to actually understand that I don't like Unity that much. It was painful, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the first maybe 3 or 4 days I was struggling big time just to make one asset move in Unity. I was like, what is this? And then the lighting part, I was like, Jesus Christ. And then the cinema machine, I was like, what? This is painful. Seriously painful. And then I saw some tutorials and I changed some settings and I got some better look, like better like render settings and stuff, and I actually started looking better and nicer, but oof, no. No.
It can take quite a while to perfect all of the spline cutting and get the proper density and all that.
Yeah.
But the speed of prototyping is unmatched.
Yeah, it's I think I can go faster with foliage tools. If you tell me like, hey, recreate this forest with foliage tools, I can make it much easier and quicker than PCG. And then if an art director comes to me and tells me, hey, move that tree around, make it bend, change this, cut there, move here, make it here, and I can make it so much faster with foliage tools because I can control each and one specific actor by hand. With PCG you cannot do that. You need to make little splines, add the spline, recalculate the thing, recalculate, play with the settings. It takes a lot of time. It takes much more time. But it's great, like you can achieve something kind of interesting like this. It looks great, right, from like far away, but if you actually play this, it becomes boring very quick. It's like I'm walking through the same procedural forest forever. It's boring, like very boring to walk around here. There's no variation at all. It's like, what? You know, it really feels like one of those games that are procedurally made that it just really makes no sense. We need like hand placement. We definitely need little settlements, camps, caves, a lot of height variation, vegetation variation. So it comes to the point where, like, yeah, you can use PCG and you can have 10,000 layers and really take specific control of each specific layer and asset and little groups of foliage. And then it comes to the point that you are like, hey, why don't I use just foliage tools? I think I can control it even more specifically with foliage tools. I realized that, like, I'm still gonna use PCG and I'm still gonna learn PCG because I think it's very powerful for big environments. But if you don't do the hand placement and the actually hand work, it's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it. And you can see, like, all the PCG environments you see on YouTube. It's like, it feels procedural and boring and repetitive. You need to really hand place stuff. For example, these mushrooms I placed with foliage tools, so it really follows the little path I made, and it really works out much better. With PCG, this will be just random nonsense, and that's the problem, you know. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's what procedural is, right? Like, it's a nice filler for environments, and then you can actually get down and get something very interesting. Alright, so I think I need to think about water systems. The water system is going to define the actual landscape. So I need...
How would like that mushroom forest?
How will light that mushroom forest? You mean like how to light it up? How will you light that mushroom forest? Right now, the thing with lighting is a little difficult. I have a lot of different biomes, so I'm not able to actually place one directional light that actually looks good on every single biome. So this is the very tricky part. Here I need to really think about what I'm going to do with lighting, because I had one very nice lighting for this forest, but I want it to be all coming from the sun. You see, like, I can move the light and I can find like a very sweet spot with like God rays and everything, and like that'll be super cool. But if I move this light, I'm going to mess up the cave lighting and the other lighting I have in the other scene, so I cannot move this light. I need to keep it like it is, and I need to work with other lights to achieve this. I'm trying to somehow make it work only with one light. I only want one directional light as the sun. So post-process volumes are the ones who are actually going to give me the feeling I want in each area. But the idea is to make it feel like there's actually only one source of light, which is the sun, and that's it. All other lighting comes from smaller light sources. You see, so it's kind of hard, like when you have a bunch of different biomes, to get the lighting looking good on every single biome. It's a nice challenge, actually. Yeah, not really sure how I'm going to achieve that, because this directional light is gonna affect the whole thing. We can have invisible walls to block the directional. Yeah, I'm going to. The idea is to make a bake lighting for different time of the day. For example, we're gonna have a sunrise like. It's just a bunch of planes. If you look at from here, it's just two planes intersecting. It doesn't really look that sweet. This asset comes from... Let me check. with T from transparency. You can select it. This comes from the Polynature Cinti Polygon asset pack. And you can achieve that with just a Photoshop image and some translucency. Let me check the material. Yep, super simple. We have color, we have the texture. Let me see if I can find it. This is the texture. It's just PNG. White for what you want to see and transparency for the rest. And then you combine that with a multiply node, and this is a particle color, which I'm not sure why they're using this particle color. I can achieve this just by that. You have emissive, opacity, and base color. Oh, you do have a base color, okay. And this is set as surface blend mode additive. Oh, that's how they did it, okay. I thought it was a transparent, a translucent material, but it's a additive surface. Default lit, interesting. They made it different. That's the cool thing about using asset packs. You get to learn from all these other setups. But yeah, you can achieve that with a PNG image, basically. Pretty simple. It's just a matter of setting the material right and getting a good image that works. So yeah, I think I'm going to have some breakfast. I haven't had breakfast right now. I'm feeling a little bit hungry, so it's time to have some food. But I will come back and work on the river. I'm going to actually make these mountains a little bit bigger, not as big as the volcano, but I'm gonna modify this mountain to actually make a river go through the mountain into the waterfall. This waterfall will go down here and it will go all the way through the orange forest.
Do you create one master material for all materials, or do you create multiple master materials for different purpose?
You can have everything under the same master material, but I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of having one master material for everything. It gets very tricky very quick. I rather create a master for one group of assets, a master for another group of assets. For example, foliage. One kind of foliage can have one master, and then you have a bunch of instances. But one master for everything, I don't recommend that at all. It gets very tricky very quick. I rather have different master materials. It really, yeah, it really. It really depends on what you want to do, right? Sometimes it makes sense to have one master for everything, but for example, like the rocks and the foliage, I wouldn't share that master material. I will keep it separate. For example, the water shader absolutely needs to be separate.
Looks great.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so here I'm going to keep on adding pink trees, and here I think I'm gonna move these rocks to this area, or maybe this is going to be the entrance of this area. Whoa, I kind of need to think where the player is going to walk through. Maybe we can have another bridge right here, so you can actually go through here, and then you can actually take. You need to go actually down here to explore this area, and then you can go back. And here, whoa, I kind of need to like take some time to think about this, because here I want like a huge bridge, and here I was thinking of having another river underneath the bridge. Whoa, I really need to think about water systems. How the river is gonna flow, where it's going to come from, how is it going to end up in the ocean. And after I do that, I need to think about the player movement. I mean the level design, like we start here, we go to this cave, then we go to this forest, then we can walk here. We have this area, and then we can go into the jungle.
Makes a ton of great asset packs.
Yeah, Cinti, yeah, Cinti is amazing. Like if you ever want to sell an asset, go look at how Cinti makes their marketplace images, how they present their work. It's so good. Like it looks like a Lego box. It really looks like a Lego box. Absolutely, like Cinti is a great reference on how to present your work. Great reference. And amazing assets. They're super famous. Like even like the new Unity Unity how do you call it, demo video uses Cinti assets, which is kind of fun. But we're gonna modify them and we're gonna actually make their our own, so it's gonna be super cool. Cause definitely we don't wanna just copy paste and place things like they are. We want to modify them and actually try to implement those assets as well as possible. Really take advantage of that, and then make other assets that go in hand with the Cinti assets, and try to keep the style, the visual style consistent and stuff. That will make the thing look super sweet. Yeah, I think wow, there's a lot of I need to do a lot of thinking here to actually get some nice paths around this. And I'm trying to make it very open world. Like you can choose where to go. Like it's not gonna be like linear. Like you can really, from this mine, you can go into the desert environment. From the desert environment, you can go into the swamp environment. From the swamp environment, you can go here. You can go up the hill to the city, or you can actually go to the orange forest and then back to these waterfalls, and then you can go into the jungle, straight into the jungle if you want. I kind of want to connect it both ways so you can really choose where you want to go. Yeah, I really want to make it like scalable to your own level. So it's not like you go into the jungle and there's like very high level enemies and it's like, oh no, I cannot walk in here. No, I would like to make it scalable so you can just do and go wherever you want. Like a real, like kind of more like a real exploration game. Like you are just free to go and do whatever. You are not restricted, let's say, by any kind of level gap. Alright, so I think I'm gonna cut the stream because I need to take a little break, get some energy, and continue with this thing. Oh, this river is super long. Like this is a super long path right here. Oh, wow. It's gonna be interesting to actually work on that. And actually we have a lava cave, and this lava cave I want to connect. Oof, the camera is flying too fast. I want to connect this lava cave to these other mountains right here. So I need to make a path from here all the way through here. Oh, that's gonna be crazy. It's too big of an environment, too big. Yeah, that's too big. And then we have like the jungle area right here, which has no foliage. I need to like actually paint the foliage. And here I want to have like caves that go through these mountains, and I want to have like hanging bridges that you can actually walk through and stuff. Wow, it's yeah, that's yeah. It's time to like really keep it simple. There's so much, but yeah, little by little, I'm gonna get this going. So nice. I got the swamp environment more finished. Still needs work, but feels nice to actually have some areas a little bit more detailed. It's time to get all the other areas to like a similar state, and then we can continue, and then we can refine and start adding more things. Yeah, I still need to go back to the blockout stage. First of all, water systems, player trails, let's say, like walkable little roads. So I'm gonna define the water systems, the walkable roads, and where the areas connect to each other. And after that, I think I'm going to just keep on populating them, making them feel making them feel nicer and nicer, and working on the transitions. I really want to have some nice transitions between areas, and inside each area I do want to have different transitions of color and variation. For example, in the swamp environment, I want to have specific mushrooms just growing on the beginning, other mushrooms growing in the middle, and a third kind of mushroom growing at the end. So you feel the progression through the environment. It's not like the same swamp everywhere. You get little zones inside the same biome. That way you feel that you are actually progressing through the environment. It doesn't feel that repetitive. The same with the jungle. I need to apply that thing. I need to apply specific foliage just in this area, specific foliage just in this area, and then you feel like you're actually walking through different little biomes inside the same area. That's probably one of the most important aspects to make it feel fun. It's like, oh wow, this is changing. Oh, what's behind there? Oh, I wonder if this other area is different. Oh, nice. And the same with the creatures and stuff. We need to have specific creatures in only one area and really have that variation. All right. So